cause baby I do no. Yama ya demand wa nkranke to ebekuno. Yeni so bete yen na ya dan ya kokofunu. Ye di kan, aban no bon ho ban. Odwemo ho na so do we see case dan. University awafa no would degree ni to kan. Akwamo no ne akopra anase tachi man. Ebe before ni hypocrisy there. Yempa wasemu anache so ka no pre. Ye ma me nimfu nsuo ntio na ye bre. Eja suku kura anyansa bi eni ho aye kire. Kire ye mpanyimfo no ya monka no pre. Inti mu hu se ni agana fo ne bre. Oyo ye tunu kromo ha so sto ye sre. Meni trase wusie tuo se ye gire. Omu kuyen so wubie wano a wusuro. Inti yentu aba na mumbo yemfuturo. Bekunya kire eye mamumbre ye kuro. Sa wombo ayafo amenko se ne duro. Yo ko ben na ye timu na bibie timi ye ni trase nkoye wo bia ye dinse mumui kania na edumi business na egui frustration abeda ni pakumi adwembo ni fita asem kesi besipa obi ampesa oboso nyamu nim ne sikedina ye hihye mutima ni chobo tena konko so na munye nyankopon so hwe munyina ni obo apo le didi nya de obeye dwumaden wo ka ye si hey untumi pontra wadwen o man na ye ntoma nka atia manasen loss in Yejumanti will be a Usunajane, a Santa for the trauma Kufuado, not for so Mahama, Oyana Miraho, or Twama de Promuni and Yadio Babuano, Miliano Messi and Yanso, Mr. Honorable, or Mini Sikaku Gubi Bifako, if the uncle for second in Japan, the Kubako, Mempe Party, send me a young fan Yaman Fana Castle, Lona Yadi, and Diana Manaso, a day, and then Bonenkwa, yet.
That's a very good question. Dear Bonenkwa, that people who want to be given the opportunity to run the affairs of this country come to us sometimes begging, pleading, and then when they are given the opportunity, they disappoint big time.
Well, this was 8 years ago, but it looks like every word he's saying
is still very relevant right now. He himself, it got a point in time he was praising this very government. When the free SH and stuff came, he played a song and said, "Become twasso" and stuff like that. Now he's eating humble pie, huh? But listen, for 3 days, a group that calls itself, Democracy Hub, organized a demonstration with the hashtag Occupy Jolobi House. All right. Now they are demanding for an improved cost of living. I don't know about your situation. How is life treating you under this administration? They're calling for better economy. They're also calling for an end to corruption. Now, some of their placards read, "Our leaders are not patriotic, no more suffering, thieves in suits," plus many others. Well, that demonstration was held on Thursday, Friday. It ended on Saturday. Here are some sounds from some of the demonstrators who hit the streets.
Do you know how much taxes they check out every day? The cost of living. But you bring in flowers for your daughter's birthday. You bring a cake to celebrate 11. God will judge the government. God will judge Akufo-Addo. It will hurt him. It will be excruciating. It will be in pain. Somebody who built his career on protest. He built his career on protest. God will judge him. God will judge him.
Well, that's not what the person had to say. I mean, she's a young girl, and you can say that she was speaking out of pain. Take a listen to some more from her.
Very angry. I'm more angry this morning. People are dying each day. The dialysis machine in Kolebu got failed. Do you know the number of people who died? A 24-year-old boy died. His father is a teacher. His father is a teacher. Gave over 30 years of his life to the service. Could not afford transplants, could not afford dialysis, 400 cedis a week. What do you mean? Do you know how much taxes they check out every day? The cost of living. But you
how much taxes they charge us every day? Do you know the cost of living in this country? Well, that was somebody who partook in that demonstration, the 3-day demonstration put together by Democracy Hub. Well, I said that was not enough. Here in Kumasi, another young man, quite young, also hit by the situation he finds himself in, had this to say.
Salon, I was thinking, Nanka work a beer or yet more as a work a piano. You channel a week. I hours. Bibini Power Buntino, who bet my in a Juma sa a Juma any penny or Juma month, talk of 5 million, 6 million, no the amount. Young girl, real school, Juma could let no ordinary a doom, no or Bobes Baba. Nurses for your school, let me post to Morgana. Nurses for your school, our mind, let me post to Ghana Jomaya Yatim Yen Debbie Yen Tum Fili or my name Yakokano Kurobiso at the Sro Yayani Jabre or my Yatimo and Yaman Clicky. You Tina Peace at Tomadiano and Yaman Fat. If you buy snow and Yaman Famosa, no much as a Kakokrono. What they share so far, some Americans and the Boakas and the boy, Namini dancing. Pragiaba, a boa boys. Namo came from Penny for to us. Mama Praga for the medum. Now, Mama Praga for the medum. My Padma Mamma Somone. I give my bad, my Pama you to listen you to me. Sometimes, Amaya Timno, Samuso Mino, or be only freedom so Casadia. And Miss Somebody took him 4 minus on.
So, a young man also lamenting about the situation in this country. He says, there are nurses who have completed their nursing education but have not been posted. So they are doing all manner of jobs just to stay alive. He says there are so many people who have gone through school looking for jobs to do, but because there are no jobs, they have resorted to become prostitutes. That's what they're doing to survive. He says there are young boys who are around PZ. They're selling all manner of things, from phones to phone accessories, and you can whatever you can imagine. They're selling those things. I was saying, in fact, we have sat in this same studios of Love 99.5 and engaged with people who are graduates but are riding Pragia for a living. And he says, well, the assembly came. He says, you're not allowed them to get to the CBD area. In all this, have you gotten them jobs? Have you created the enabling environment for them to even get jobs to do? So gradually you can tell that the youth are getting angry. Now, I have heard this in the past where people are saying, have said that the youth of this country, the people of Ghana, are not angry enough. So with all that is happening, as a Ghanaian youth, what do you make of your current situation? When you sit down and assess your own self, what do you make of your own current situation? Having assessed yourself right now, what does the future look like for you? Does the future look bleak or bright for you? We want to hear from you. If you're a Ghanaian, if you're a youth, what is your situation? What's your story? 055-1111-995 is our WhatsApp number. Share your story with us as a Ghanaian youth. What's your situation right now, currently? And does the future look bright enough for you? Well, they are not the only ones who are complaining right now. Even some of our celebrities also hit the streets during the hashtag Occupy Jubilee, house to also,
You are done. What does the Julo mean?
Okay, so Julo means thief. B means child. House there, we are in house. So Julo B house. So you put it together. Julo means thief. B means child. And then house. So you can put it together.
The house of a thief.
I don't know.
Okay.
Julo means thief. So if there's a thief and those are his children, I don't know. But here are some celebrities. You will hear from Sheldon, from Stoneboy, and from EL. Take a listen to what they also have to say.
As you understand, there are a lot of bad things happening in the country. There are a lot of graduate unemployment, bro. Finding a job in this country is a job. You understand? You see all these people here, some of them have been in the house for 4 or 5 years, they don't have jobs. What do you want them to do? You think this is about somebody watching my video or somebody giving me validation? I don't care. If you like, unsubscribe to my channel because I'm demonstrating. I am doing what I'm supposed to do. At the end of the day, you would know that you will sit down there and know that because Sheldon didn't sit down there. You understand? I have done my own. I've done my part.
The motorway with the tolls that have been taken from years. I lost my knee to the accident on a motorway. Yeah. It's a major reason that I can never forget. I walk with a titanium knee replacement in my leg. How can I ever forget that happened to me? And even up to today, people still die off of the motorway. Tires are blasting and all of that. Have we not raised enough revenue to be able to fix the motorway that Kwame Nkrumah built from yesteryears? And I'm not standing here in the name of MPP, NDC, or CPP, or KKP. I stand here in the name of Ghanaians as I am. That's my brother. I'm one of them. The president is a Ghanaian. The police force are Ghanaians. The military are Ghanaians. So guess what? It gives me a lot of joy. In the beginning, I was a little bit just skeptical, but I had to stand because I always do to make sure that I come in because I don't really care about whoever wants to politicize my indulgence.
I'm here to show solidarity, to show support. I think us being present here sends the message across that we are not here to play. I'm a Ghanaian and I tend to travel a lot. And whenever I come back to Ghana, I realize that things have actually deteriorated to a certain extent. And it's been chipping away at the economy, at the whole general space for a very, very long time. So I'm getting worried about it. I'm getting worried for the generations to come. I'm getting worried about the children, my children, and, other things that are going to come up. This is the time for us to actually make that effort to make something change. Something has got to give, and it's up to us. It's up to us, the celebrities. It's up to us, the people, to put actual boots on the ground and let the powers that be know that, look, we are actually thinking and we have the power to make change happen.
The powers that be get to know that we're actually thinking, and that was EL. Before then, you heard from Stoneboy and Kodio Sheldon as well. But as I speak right now, Sarkodie also tweeted. Let me read out his tweet to you. He says, "Main reason for this demonstration at Nana Addo is to let you know the people, that the citizens, are suffocating in hardship. It's easy to overlook since most of government officials are nowhere close to the situation on the ground. It's a bully when you staff someone and still ask them to follow rules. It's only a matter of time." That's a tweet from Sarkodie. Eugene Osetutu and Leo Stanley are all youthful, and they are with me in the studios of Love Night 9.5. And Eugene, let me start with you, because many young people, as we are all very much aware, hit the streets from Thursday. It ended on Saturday, calling for an improved economy, end to corruption, and better living conditions. What's your take of all that happened for 3 days demonstrating?
Well, David, they are justified. They are justified to demonstrate. And David, let me set a premise. Whatever I'm going to discuss, let's discuss it devoid of your partisan affiliation to anything. David, the youth complain about unemployment. Is it true that there's unemployment in the country?
True.
It's true. The youth are complaining about high cost of living. Is it true that there's high cost of living? It's true. The youth are complaining about incoherent policy. Is it true? It's true. This morning, a school tells me my sister has reopened. I take my sister to the school, then I'm told that the school has not reopened and there's no decision on that, so I should take my sister back. That is the ludicrous nature how our SHS are being run in this country. Now imagine the person is coming from Tamale. All the risk involved. Stoneboy talked about the Temamoto way. I have used the route to the Volta region about twice. I asked myself whether the leaders in Accra live on that stretch, or they use that stretch. He lost his knee, and it took the benevolence of a Samoedan to fly him to Germany to fix the knee, and he now works with a titanium leg, right? Is it true it has happened? It has happened.
I think he even lost a twin brother in that accident.
Yeah,
and
he's a twin.
And unfortunately, in that time, people were, teasing him with his limp.
And so today, lots of people are dying. Lots of people are incurring costs to their vehicles on the motorway. They complain about inflation. And that is where I talk about the hypocrisy in this country. When the Occupy demonstration happened, and I always say that, you see, when the Occupy Ghana did the demonstration and all that, in this country, whenever an issue comes, I always say that let your conscience be your guide. What did you say then? And David, that's not politics. These are facts. When we went for the demonstration in December, and if I say we, I don't necessarily need to be in Accra to go for a demonstration. Activism is not only done on the streets, it can be done on social media. In 2015, what was the inflation of this country? Less than 16%? Lou, am I lying? Today, inflation is over 40%.
41, actually.
Food inflation is more than that.
It's 51.
Fuel today, as an average, about 13.5.
51 per gallon.
Then, a litre was just about 4 Ghana cedis. So, the youth are justified. And you see, I always say that I'm very much disappointed in this president, because for me, I'm young, but when you read about this man, I do not think any president was better placed to change the fortunes of this country than him. He was better placed. But David, when you even look at the communication of, I'm not able to talk faster like I do, when you even look at the communication of the people in government, they either feign ignorance, that they didn't know, they either pretend or make it seem as if, and that is the most revolting part of this conversation. Make it seem as if the youth of this country cannot speak for themselves.
Defending ignorance.
And we need, that's the word, defending ignorance. We need a certain John Mahama or a certain NDC political party to make us speak.
So do this for me. Read this. This is something that Asan Kuma wrote in 2011. And Gabi Ochedako at the time, I just want to put a point across.
I want you to read,
Gabi, pick this and run with it. I'm going to read it verbatim. Says, and Kate, hold on for me. The message says, when will the youth of Africa be sufficiently angry to rise up and throw out, and I'm reading verbatim, foolish and corrupt leaders? When? We have become so used to being trampled upon and or being visited by the mediocrity of the leaders that we accept it as okay. Now, until we get angry and do something about our situation, we're not going anywhere. Ace wrote, and Gabi was in support of this. Has anything changed?
Well, David,
they're in power right now.
The same guy who insulted Gloria Kufu when she went to protest with the
Imperial.
No. When the haircut was happening,
they
were pitching at the finance ministry.
David, so to what I was saying, when Akufo-Addo led, undoubtedly, in our contemporary politics, the biggest demonstration ever, the Kumpreku demonstration.
Somebody lost the eye and all that.
There were 6 things that were posted on the flyer when the demonstration happened on the 11th of May 1995. Now, David, the first one was killer VAT. Today, based on the mismanagement of the economy, every quarterly, your tariff will be reviewed. Based on the mismanagement of the economy, though the COVID has passed, we've paid for 2 years. Go to any restaurant and look at the taxes. That is why it is so insulting. It is actually, let me manage my words, that anybody will rise and say Ghanaians do not pay taxes, as if they can't read. It's so insulting when I read those things. And there is only down to Ashanti Kumasi for pay taxes, but they are always in the finance minister have even said something before. But we are demanding development. Now, the second reason why they demonstrated was that...
Before you go on the second reason for the demonstration, and then this same administration, at the time they were painting a brighter future for this country, told us that we will move away from taxation to production.
And now they want to tax MCs.
No, David, you see, let me say this. Nobody is against taxation. But you see, what we call the tax must make sense.
Yeah.
And it must reflect in the lives of the people. When you pay the tax, you must feel it. For example, anytime I eat outside, I pay NHS. I've never used NHS in like 10 years. I've not used it in like 10 years. Now let's go back to the point. The second reason why they went for the COVID-19 was high cost of food. Today, a crate of egg, only for 50 Ghana cedis. A crate of egg. So our nutritional value is even going down. Today, a sachet of water. If you want to drink some brands, I don't want to advertise to anybody. And if you featuring there, I will memorial water, those water, no. If you want to drink quality water, it's about 10 Ghana cedis a sachet. Now, if you want to say that, they say a punch 1 pound cry, you're saying. A punch 1 pound, you're saying.
But I want to go to a place called Palace to buy what? 1 pound
minced beef.
Charlie?
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to pay out of who say this kind of buy.
Yeah, the ferry net.
Do the ferry net idea.
No, kinky, saying. So food is high. Actually, in the sub-region, Ghana has the highest food inflation.
Yeah.
Globally, we are the 8th, according to the World Bank, food inflation. At a time where this government has, and you see, I always say that this government is the champion of slogans. A bus slogan, but maybe planting for this, planting for that, roaring for this. But meanwhile, you've launched phase 2 of a certain planting for food after spending 2.6 billion cedis. How has that impacted our food inflation? So if the youth say that food inflation is this is it. The second reason why there was a high cost of living today, if you work in a certain establishment, the manager pays you 2,000 for your man before. David, what can you do with that money? The national service people were backdated with their, they haven't paid. High cost of living. David, if you're earning 2,000 in 2021, today, that money is about 700 Ghana cedis. And David, let me speak to employers. See, some people will not complain because when you saw the car, no
option.
But please, if your company is making some revenue because maybe you've increased also your cost of the product and all that, please. Because David, I have friends that sometimes you speak to them and these are people working on. You see, this is the grand picture of our situation. These are people working. David, there are most people when they take their salary, when they pay for the basics, electricity, you do feel as a water bill. Maybe I send it to a maybe a man and 100 before his father. They cannot save. They don't have health insurance. They don't have social security. They have nothing. So if they are not lucky, no malaria if they have any serious malaria, David, that's the end of their world.
And that is what we're asking you. If you're a youth and you're listening to us this morning, based on all that has happened, the demonstration that took place for 3 days from Thursday to Saturday, all the hardships that people are talking about, we're asking you, if you're a Ghanaian youth, what is your current situation? Tell us. What is your current situation? And what does the future look like for you? Listen, our WhatsApp number is 055-1111-995. But Eugene, we've had this over and over again.
Let me add one. Sledge yesterday, and I hope he calls. He shared something. I was so sad. He said he was driving from Ridge to Ahojo roundabout. He says, yes, sister Fui. David, he saw some of the girls as little about, I think, 16, 17. Yeah. And he wanted to.
I saw them. I was around that area that same night.
Yes, he said he wanted to just stop and tell them, find something for them, like something. But he was just afraid. And David, now, the easiest thing to get is sex. And David, you see, I don't want people to go and pontificate. And I could turn pure water, and this and that. See, David, sometimes when you hear the stories of some people and are not in their shoes, you may sit at your home and pontificate. But the things people are going through is crazy. And David, you see, these complaints are from people. Look at somebody like Kojo Sheldon, for example, says he's demonstrating. I mean, this guy has money. But you see, the taxes you pay and even the road you use, it doesn't make any sense.
The roads are death traps. But I was asking, Eugene, we've heard before, the youth of this country are not angry enough. Would you say that based on what is happening right now, we're getting there, the anger is rising?
David, you see, it's not about anger. Ghanaians are not timorous souls. When you read about the history of Ghanaian independence, we've proven through the times, we are not timorous souls. But it's just that we are slow to anger. And that is what Nkrumah said. Let me give you the quote Nkrumah said.
Why you say the quote for me? Have you found it?
Yes, I have it now.
Okay.
Nkrumah said, let me quote this. When the British were trying to say that Ghanaians cannot, take their own independence, he said something. He said that the Ghanaians are not timid people as being suggested in the foreign press. Far from it. They may be slow to anger and may take time to organize and act. But once they are ready and they strike hard. It pains no one to tamper with Ghana's freedom and dignity. So, David, Ghanaians throughout history are not timorous souls. But you see, when you're a government, that is where you listen to the pulse of the people.
Yeah.
That is where you address the pertinent. Because David, these are the same issues that took the NDC to opposition. So if you come, David, there's no government, and there's no government in this republic who has enjoyed goodwill than this MPP government in 2016. David, what are the youth asking for?
And talking about that, that's one of my questions actually. So let me welcome to our show a legal practitioner. He's a youth himself. Isa Ibrahim, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dave.
And how are you doing, lawyer Isa Ibrahim?
The grace of God is with us. What about yourself?
Well, I'm well. Good to have you on the show. Also on the line is an entrepreneur. His name is David Donko, another youth on the line. David, good morning to you. David? Can you hear me?
Yes, please, I can hear you, David.
All right, so how are you, sir?
I'm fine, and you?
Well, I'm well. David himself is a youthful person. He was into banking, decided to leave the banking job and go into entrepreneurship, and he'll be sharing stories with us shortly. But let me start off with you, lawyer Isa Ibrahim. I mean, I'm sure you've followed the demonstrations and the placards and what you read and all that. I'm sure you might have heard this young gentleman talking about the fact that it's difficult to live in Ghana. People have completed school and are not able to get gainful employment and all that. As a youth yourself, how do you relate to all that is happening?
Okay. Good morning to your listeners and your other co-partners on the line. It is disheartening, as a youth to witness all these things, each day, in, day out. And the question one will ask is whether our leaders don't learn at all, or they just take delight in these kind of situation. I mean, the question that we should ask ourselves is simple. Why is government formed? What is the base of the formation of government? And the answer is simple. Governments are formed for the happiness of the people. Because if you are government and you cannot provide your citizens with happiness, basic thing, then you are a failure. The things that they talk about, you see, when you sit somewhere and you get few CDs from politicians, you may be assuming that, look, they're making too much noise, they are over-exaggerating. But these are rare issues. Look, day in, day out, I encounter a lot of our youth, okay, who are practicing what is popularly termed as either 010 or 001. And what does that mean? They deliberately avoid eating in the morning, avoid eating in the afternoon, and get something to eat in the evening and sleep. Or they avoid eating in the morning, find something to eat in the afternoon, and avoid sleeping in the evening. And this is something that is not something that we should be proud of as a nation. Because, look, in other jurisdictions, nobody is saying that, look, what is happening here is a peculiar situation. It's something that has called global phenomena. But we're looking at the quantum, comparatively to other peers in the world. There are systems in place that ensure that, look, youths are able to have a bit of leverage. But what do we see here in Ghana? You have a population currently, according to the Ghana Census Service, that stood about 32 million, and you have a whooping majority as youth. And these youth wake up in the morning and you do not even know where their next bread is coming from. I mean, young ladies who have just taken shower, dressed up, they have no place to go. They are just roaming, praying that, look, on their way, some gentleman would call them, and the next thing that you ask is that, can you buy me meal?
So, Lawyer Issa, tell me, how do we get things right? I mean, leaders come to us, they campaign, and they want to have our votes, promising us, heaven. We don't even get the skies, let alone to get whatever they are promising us. How do we get it right? How can the youth push leaders or leadership to get it right?
Yes, I think what we witnessed, a few days ago is a very, good step, in the right direction. Why do I say that? Is how Tahrir Square brought the governance into it new. This is what will make our leaders begin to think that, look, you can't take the citizens for granted because power belongs to the people. We cannot continue to allow leaders to amass wealth. What is the population? Check the statistical data and you see that, look, the aged population, which is the 65-year plus, is constituted only 4%. So why do we allow 4% to destroy the life of the masses? That is something that we should know. So we should continue to, veer the anger, be on the street, okay, until, what we demanding that it is done, or we continue to request for changes in our institutions, changing government structure.
But are they listening? Lawyer Issa Ibrahim, are they listening? We know what is happening around close to our neighbors. Coup d'etats and all that. Nobody's asking or praying for a coup d'etat in Ghana. But even as people hit the streets and complain about the hardships and the difficulties, are leaders prepared to listen? Interestingly, some of the appointees are youthful themselves. They should understand what the youth are going through right now. Are they appreciating what we're going through?
I believe so, to some extent. I think after the demonstration that happened, occupied the Jubilee House, I think I have read few comments of people in government, and I could see a sober reflection in the way they conduct themselves. The way they were talking, before the demonstration, the tone and behavior has changed. What does that imply? It means that, look, they are beginning to feel that, look, if we do not sit up, something bad may happen. Just like you said, we are not praying for coup to come, but if you look at all the underlying factors that's occasion coups in our sub-region, we have exceeded all those thresholds. So I will not be surprised. May God forbid, I'm not asking for it, but I will not be surprised if today there's a coup in Ghana, because we have met all the conditions that calls for coup d'etat. Because look, you wake up in the morning as a young person and you don't know where your bread is coming from. A youth who have nothing to lose, if there's a coup, what would be his incentive to say that I will not support such a thing? You saw how youth were jubilating in Mali and other point when coup d'etat happened. And I tell you what, today, if you want, okay, let's open phone lines and ask how many people youth would support coup d'etat, and you'll be surprised at the number. Look at how nurses, teachers, doctors are being duped day in, day out, just because they want to travel to go and see a greener pasture somewhere.
My final question to you before I even engage with David Donko, who's also on the lines right now. If you had the opportunity to have been part of the demonstration, what would your placard have read?
As in my placard?
You were part of the demonstration. What would you have written on your placard?
Let's finally sell the nation to the Chinese government.
I don't think you mean that, but I hear you. David Donko, I mean, so you've had a youth complaint. You are a youth yourself. What's your story?
Okay. Good morning to your listeners once again, and good morning to your lawyer, Bright. My story started as a banker. I started as a banker. In fact, a graduate trainee banker with Omnibank. Worked through about 3-4 years. Decided to get into business, create more opportunities for others. We later recruited lots of people into entrepreneurship. That's through poetry. Bright personally would attest to our efforts in this direction. I managed to drive close to a 30. In Kumasi alone, I could drive close to 30 people into poultry farming. At least that generated extra income. Gave opportunity to other people who were probably on the streets, who we call factory hands. We give them opportunity to grow. Some learn, some even set up their own small businesses alongside, growing the numbers. But as of now we can't even be proud of ourselves. We can't even tell someone that wholeheartedly come into entrepreneurship. So basically, that has been the story. We left a lucrative sector, went into a less traveled road, that's farming. How many youth would travel into, go into farming, leave the banking job, leave the white-collar jobs, and go into
David, do I sense a sense of regret in your voice? Do you have regrets?
Pardon?
I'm asking whether I sense, regrets in your tone. Do you have regrets having left the banking job to go into poetry?
Currently, I would say yes, there are so many regrets. There are regrets because at least if I had remained there, the money that I saved, the money that I managed to get into this entrepreneurship field with, would have probably been safe sitting in the account just as it is the other person is sitting in the account. And probably that would have been a lot of pushing for me. But I left the sector, got into entrepreneurship, thinking that's where the drivers, that's where to get people coming to see our efforts, and also to help inspire others to also get into it.
Do you foresee hope at the end of the tunnel? Do you see there's hope for you as a youth in this country?
Oh, personally, I would say with our current state, no. But we are just hoping that there will be, as religious as we are as Ghanaians, just hoping that there will be a divine intervention. But as I'm now, currently, I wouldn't lie to you, my big brother. I wouldn't lie to you that there is any hope. In fact, the very people enjoying the freebies are the very people who are connected to these politicians. There's currently a very big business booming in Ghana now, is in the food sector. And many people attribute the success to the person being hardworking, being this, being that. No. But I can tell you the list of grants that have been made available to this young person. And it will marvel you. Probably the person have been done better, done times 3, times 2 what the person is doing currently. But what are we experiencing?
How are you surviving under the circumstances? I mean, you've left your banking job, you're into poultry or into farming. How are you surviving under the circumstances? Because, the poultry products doesn't come cheap. The feed and the sorghums and all that doesn't come cheap. How are you surviving?
David, you know how my business started? It started with just 500 beds, and we managed to travel to 14,000 beds, a 14,000 farm capacity. Currently, I am left with less than 500 beds back to where I started from, because within last year the turbulence was serious and most of us couldn't
get access and get financial support from the various businesses and banks. So we managed to sell some of the birds, use it to feed, sell some of the birds, use it to feed. That like we're just robbing Pika to pay for within last year and even this particular year. Most of the farmers went out of business. Right to tell you that most of them went out of the business because it wasn't lucrative anymore. Because you're not making profit, you are making losses, you are expected to pay your workers and a whole lot.
So let's say this, in the next 5 years, let's say in the next 3 years, what do you have?
That you are taking me this morning, and trust me, it's really bringing lots of memories back to me.
David, within the next 2-3 years, what plans do you have for yourself? Do you intend to work hard on your farm, or given the opportunity, you would like to leave the shores of Ghana? What plans do you have for yourself in the next 3, 4, 5 years?
Personally, if I would advise, if I have an opportunity as a youth now, I'll travel. I'll leave the country, probably put myself back together and see if I'll give it a try again here in Ghana. But we are not having any opportunities as of now. So the little thing that we're having is either to go to school, or probably even if you are going to school and you are not having scholarships, how are you even going to manage to pay the fees? To me personally, if I have the opportunity, trust me, I wouldn't advise any youth to sit in this mess and be hopeful. No.
What would you want to say to leadership, especially to the president? What message do you have for the president?
Personally, to talk to the president, I think he's old enough, and probably I'm not the one to advise him. And he has lots of youth around him, people like Nanabi, Samir Uku. There are lots of people around him that probably can give him the best of advice. It's just sheer wickedness. To me, I think they are not helping the man, personally. I think they are not giving the man the true reflection of what we are feeling. And if he's also aware and probably nothing is being done, or they are telling the truth and nothing is being done, then David, honestly, I don't even have any word of advice to send to him. They know what we are going through. They know the hits we are passing through. So they should probably rethink some of their decisions, their policies, and other things. They let it reflect in our lives. It's just sad that someone would invest his whole life for about 6 years, and it just runs out. I started this poultry thing from 2016. Started with piggery, built the farm from 2016 up to 2022, and things just shut down. David, it's sad.
David Donko, thank you very much for your time with us this morning. Indeed, it's sad. You start a business with 500 beds. You go up to 1,500, 1,400 as your capacity, and then currently, as we speak, you are even doing way below 500 beds. That is indeed sad. Lawyer Isa Ibrahim, what would you want to leave us with? Yes, Lawyer Isa Ibrahim, what would you want to leave us with?
Come again with the question.
I'm asking, what will be your final words? If it's a message to leadership, it's a message to the youth, what would you want to say to us before you take leave of us?
All right. So my final message to government, it's simple. That government should engage in meaningful dialogue with the youth. And there should be a very meaningful dialogue between the youth and policymakers. Let's encourage that, very important, and implement anti-corruption measures that prioritize the youth and promote youth entrepreneurship. If we do not do this, time is tickling, and we would wake up one day and all of us will not be happy with what we may hear.
I hear you, Lawyer Isa. Thank you very much for your time. Lawyer Isa Ibrahim is a private legal practitioner. He joined us on the phone lines, youthful himself. And so is David Donko, also a youth. He joined us. His story hits me so much, huh? I mean, so Eugene and Leo, you've begun something on the side. Yeah. Like, Charlie, Eugene, can you imagine you start a business with 500 beds? Go as high to your full capacity with 1,400 beds. And then due to the situation you find yourself in, the economic situations and all that, you're doing less than 500 beds right now.
Oh, David, I can't.
Charlie.
David, I'm being blunt with you, and allow me a little attitude. Most youth are absorbing a lot of nonsense at work because they know they don't have options. Look at the story we just said. 500 bed, invest all your life, investment banker, leave your bank, you go 1,004. And you hear do you know how you got back to the 500 and less? because he cannot keep up. So what he does is that he sells the best to cover the cost. So you see, a lot of people are working at abusive places. They are working at places where they don't have even the right conditions to think and everything. But they know that they don't have options. And even a lot of people are being underpaid. That's another thing we are not looking at.
We'll talk about it. You don't want to serialize this conversation. Like the guy said, some of the jobs are very risky. You're not paid hourly or weekly. You're paid at the end of the month, 500, 600. We'll talk about that in due course.
Do you notice that few years back, you see security people, they were normally old men, you know. But now, what's the picture?
Yeah, youthful.
And what's their salary? And if you see all these boys, and you call James, our good friend, Dr. Opokwai, today, and he tell you that all these things has a certain bearing on the crime we witness. David, the situation, and yesterday I read the statement of the youth organizer. You see, some of them should just shut up. If the greatest of respect, the youth organizer or the MPP also, some of them should just shut up. If you can't, you see, it's not by force to talk, okay? It's not by force. Let's tell them. Some of them should just cease talking. Because, David, you know, times are hard for people. And some of us, we get certain calls because of where we work. David, times are hard for people. You take your salary, it cannot take you home. David, just recently, you know, 25 kg rice and 4.5 liter fried oil, 550 Ghana cedis. At first, that oil, the 1 liter one, you say, Leo so bubu, and you tell them, Leo know how Leo takes care of his food, but Leo cannot buy now 1 liter oil, 1 liter. It's about 20 cedis. At first, it was 8-10 Ghana cedis or so. 40 cedis or so.
Is it 1 liter? The 5 kg is still 5. Is it 5 kg?
It's 4.5. Now, the last time Leo was telling me that goes to bank mama and your man that's what he can afford, and that's the reality. David, today, I don't like the thing, what they call the tomato paste. The paste, I don't like it. I like the raw tomato. David, today you cannot do 20 CD raw tomato and even take it for 3 days as a single man. You can't. And they say, "Body crab, you know, we live in a country where the pace is David. Yesterday, when my sister was going, and this shorten
the deodorant.
The deodorant. 12 Ghana, 8 Ghana, 15 Ghana CD.
Now it's 35,
40 Ghana CD.
So what's your story out there? You are youthful yourself, you're a young person. Based on all that we've talked about, all that you've heard, all that you've seen, what's your story? What's your current situation? What's your current situation? And what does the future look like for you? Call us on 03220 83596, 03220 83597, 03220 83598. Call us now. Listen, if you don't want us to, if you don't want to join us on the phone lines, you can join us on Facebook. LUV 99.5 FM. And if you join us on Facebook, Kate Mensa showing you videos of some of the demonstrations.
Eating healthy is not even an option.
Yes, you can also decide to send us a WhatsApp message to 05511 Does the future look good for you in Ghana as a Ghanaian? Does the future look good for you? What's your current situation as well?
David, last week after visiting the Baba, I made a decision that I need to go Rasta.
Ken, good morning.
I'm going Rasta.
Good morning, David.
So what's your current story, and does the future look good for you?
David, you see, when there's an issue, the first thing you do is to do the right thing. The second, I believe, to do the wrong thing. The third one is to do nothing. Among these three things, the most dangerous one is doing nothing. David, I always tell you about the wind. You think it's a lie. About what you read about Sarkodie, and then I think occupied Ghana, and Oti said Ghanaians are not timid. We are not. You see, I like this Jerry, my role model. He said, Anna, with the coup that he did, he didn't do it. The country was calling for it. That is what is happening now. The nation is calling for it. I have no advice for this president. He's killing us, and it will come back to him. The nation is calling. The wind is coming. God save Ghana.
I'll say an amen to that. So you can also call us on 03220 83596, 03220 83597, 03220 83598. Are you a youth? What is your current situation? And aside from that, do you think the future looks good enough for you? What do you have to say? Join us. Sledge is on the line. Sledge, good morning to you. And Eugene was telling me something about something you posted yesterday. Sorry, but before I speak to Sledge, let's speak to SK. SK, good morning and welcome, sir.
Yeah, good morning, David.
Let's hear you, sir.
Yeah, David, I think our leaders are very callous and insensitive. In fact, things are very hard. Very, very difficult. My wife is a medical doctor. You know, of late, I have to make her to change her car because...
SK, I don't know what happened. My call is back, SK. Call is back. I'd like to hear that story. Sledge is on the line. Hi, Sledge. Good morning.
David, good morning.
I'm told that you posted something on Facebook. Well, let me hear that story.
Oh, David. Got to Kumasi that evening. Driving from Golden Tulip through Awoju and about to take. I got in front of QRV and there were some two young girls. I thought they would be... Their age might go beyond 16. They were in black. So I was shocked. I slowed. Tried to look at them. And David, one was covering the face. Because you could see that they are just fresh in the business. They said, David, I was very hurt. Looking at young girls like that, 15, 16 years. Oh, David. I asked myself, so if they were my daughters, how was I going to feel? And I wish I could even get down and go and drive them away. But anyway, it was late, almost 10 p.m. I don't know what was going to happen to me, so I have to pass.
Tell me, do you see any future for Ghana?
Future? If you get Ghana, go. See, those of us living in Ghana now, it's by the grace of God that we are surviving. And my party people that don't see this, they are not even advising, but they are going out slogan, breaking the edge. Meanwhile, we are failing. We have failed.
I hear you. Thanks for joining us.
From 2014, 15, 16, they are now being played back to us. People around the big boss, number one, is not advising because they are being sycophants because of what they will get into their pockets.
Sledge, let me say thank you for joining us. Can we speak to Wisdom now? Hi, Wisdom. Good morning.
Good morning, Dave.
Are you a youth yourself? You're young,
yes, please. Yeah, I'm a youth myself.
So what's your current situation? Do you see any future for Ghana?
The future, how do we garner in some hope if we don't even have faith? You see, and everything I've seen upside down. We thought that the incumbent was coming to bring in some hope for the youth, but nothing. And we don't see the future. Everything is cloudy. I was in Nigeria when the incumbent was pleading for his second term. And I was praying that he couldn't win. But unfortunately, he got to win. And I came back to Ghana a year now. Things are not working, honestly. And I was saying in our balance that Namahama cry. We thought Akufo-Addo and Akufo-Addo was the Jesus that we want, not knowing the Jesus that we were praying for. This change, it's not even what we were looking for. Honestly, you can buy things, cost of the standard cost of living. Things are going high every blessed day. I mean, Kumasi, right now, nothing, hopelessness. And I'm always praying. My constant prayer is for this coup d'etat to happen. I wish I was in the army.
We don't pray for coup d'etat, Wisdom. We don't pray for coup d'etat. But all the same, thank you very much. And I understand. I understand what you're feeling. Let's speak to Christoph, who's also on the lines right now. Hi, Chris. Good morning and welcome.
Yeah, good morning, my brother. How are you, sir?
Well, I'm well. Chris, I don't know whether you're a young person or you're an adult, but whichever it is, what's the current situation? Do you have hope for this country?
David, I'm a youth. I'm less than 40 years, so I'm a youth. And so I'm equally affected by what's happening. David, let's set the record straight. David, I think the people around the president are bootlickers. Somebody used the word sycophants. To me, it's quite harsh. But we say they are bootlickers. They are not telling the president the real issues on the ground. David, what is happening? It is. You see, the danger here is that, David, there is no hope for things that will get better very soon. They are not seeing anything like that. You remember when they are going to have their college of the flag bearer? The man said, Fernando said that he thinks the next president will come and better things. It means that he himself, he has no knowledge, he has no clue to the problems we are going through. And David, almost every day things are escalating. Things are escalating. We can't feed ourselves. We can't feed our families. We go to the market. Prices are always skyrocketing. And nobody seems to care. Nobody seems to do anything to abate the situation, to suit our pain. David, I think we have to let these people know that they feel that the Ghana that we are having before 2016-17, it was better than it. David, finally, you know, I'm also an entrepreneur. I have a school. David, before 2017, I was doing what? 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 14. David, after 2017, when people want to come to school, Christoph Adult Education, you give them a lesser price to pay. They say, sir, we don't have, they made you cry. David, where I ran the school, even to pay the rent is a problem. But the people are not coming.
Christopher, I hear you. Tough times, huh? I hear you. Kofi's on the line as well. Hi, Kofi. Good morning.
Hi, Dave. How are you doing?
Kofi, I'm well. Good to have you, Kofi.
Yo. Dave, let me tell you what the youth of this country see when they look into the future. The youth of this country look into the future and they see hopelessness. They see sadness. They see sorrow. And the tears flow into their eyes. The tears rather flow through their eyes. And because the Kufuor and Bawumia government have stolen their future, they have stolen their education, they have stolen their health, they have stolen their food because they don't see where the meals are coming from the next day. They have stolen their job because they have to pay so much to get a job, so much as a bribe, to just corrupt people to get a job. And this is what they see. And when they see all this, unfortunately, some people also sleep with the ladies in order for the ladies to get a job, unfortunately. And what the Kufuor and Bawumia and his ministers are buying cash, they are buying dollars, they are digging the ground and put dollars, billions of dollars on the ground, burying them.
Reverend Jeffy, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate your call so much. And I think we're done on the phone lines, right? All right, so let's go on to, and I'm told some of you who are calling, listen, unfortunately, we cannot pick any more of your calls. There's going to be a part 2 of this conversation. I can't assure you when it's going to happen, but it's going to come your way shortly. We're going to look at it from the jobs that people do and the kind of remunerations they get, whether, you know, it's in sync with it. Yeah. But before then, let's go on to the WhatsApp console.
Yeah, David, there are some messages from your doctor friends. He says that, this is from Dr. Lord JJ, I think, Goins. He said that, I'm listening to you on Love FM. Tell David for me. We don't even have an hour present, and David is talking about the future. Then from our good friend, for those at home, she says that when you see me with a beard, don't think it's intentional or a new style. There's a reason which is rooted deeply in the current state of my pocket.
Good morning, Dave. This is Isaac. You see, the future is bleak. The future is gloomy. We have moved from bad to worse. Okay? And for those of us in the health sector, when we look at the emancipation of health workers, highly skilled health workers that are living, more than half of healthcare personnel, highly skilled ones, have left this country from last year to this time, and they are still living. And all of us are also waiting in the line to leave. Okay, so when you come to the world, sometimes you have only one person at the world from morning to night to the next morning. How can this person be able to give off his best in caring for patients? Okay, and nobody seems to care.
Charlie, it's sad, huh? But let's get to hear some more voice messages like this one.
Good morning, David. I hope so will be out here. Ghana semi Edio, where she can was more. She also my. Do we have a president in this country? I don't think so. We don't have a president in this country. hwɛ ho kyerɛ hwɛ nkɔm na me de me hu kura na me yem sisi me na ma koma bɔne yɛ hwɛ youth go just have time go to the airport see the number of youth it being mmabaawa mmeranteɛ omutu kwan ɛkɔ Canada ɛkɔ US ɛkɔ UK they should tell you say there's something wrong. What I hate.
But some of the words we need to work on them because Charlie, if care is not taken, the bombs that people are throwing this morning.
Oh yeah, David. Even the messages on my personal phone. If I say I'm reading, we go to 10. And David, you see the anger in the system. And someone sent a message on Facebook that you see some calm words for you, the president.
It's on Facebook. If you go on Facebook, let me quickly fetch that message on Facebook.
Yeah, David, I have it. So he's saying that just a word from the president in times like these can calm nerves. Yeah. But he seemed not to care. I was expecting him to even avail himself or designate any of his cabinet ministers to meet these protesters and talk to them. David,
they have been prevented from going to the Jubilee House. David, meet them somewhere. Show some solidarity. Show some concern.
David, yeah, any pa me. Article 216 David, if I see him today, can I beat him? I can't beat him, but at least you are according the courtesies of his office. Something avail yourself to us because David, you are the father of the demonstration if you are putting it bluntly, but for you to become president and all this, David, you are quiet, but then you talk.
Come and tweet.
Those things.
We're not saying that don't tweet when the Fry guy was killed. George Floyd was killed. Tweet, but about this one, to tweet. Give some kind of assurances. Stanley, please.
Good morning, Uncle David. Please, I'm Josephine. I am a student myself. I used to buy deodorants at 7 cities or 12 cities, and your crown meets me to a toby. But now it's 35, 40 cities. You are scared the mommy did cry and so me. Now, me say TBR taught deodorants 35 cities. What was our first cry? Meeting scanning be able to told you around 7 cities, 12 cities. But they say mental. Oh my basa, this government and yet the high cost of living Uncle Dave. Vice President Baumia on one kind. Women are suffering, boys are suffering, girls are suffering, suffering. That time they all can do your time. We are also telling you we are suffering. Munye bibim boy. Na munjai someone na me iska for campaign. Cars are mudi dem nkwan. E bet me charge school fees 2 times. Or even all the 3 times. Adding.
I hear you. So how come Akufo-Addo has gotten it so wrong? How come? What went wrong that the man has gotten so wrong?
COVID in Ukraine. Huh? COVID in Ukraine.
I beg you. And then Dr. Baumia, you are with this administration. The situation is in a mess. And now you say we should give you the mantle to lead.
He's cruising into victory, Dave.
What
don't you see his body language now?
Who are they? Are they not pro? What difference are you going to make?
You see, among the fans are no responding. They don't feel the pressure.
Charlie, give us some more voice notes.
Good morning, David. I don't even know what to say. A Catholic priest once said the current government is always more corrupt than the previous one. David, things are not rosy. We are facing crisis. The speaker said there will be popular uprising, civil uprising, and it's beginning. My issue is Ghanaians, we are more hypocrite. There is hypocrisy in us. Too much. David, I always say, because we are tired of these two parties. NDC crying today, people want to vote against NPP, like myself, because he's and Mahama buy better than say, but that's not going to solve the problem. This man will come and you say, I said it. Things are going to be bad.
But the point is, whoever takes over the reins of government in 2025 or whatever, things are not going to be that rosy and easy for him.
David,
aside from that,
David, I don't believe that. You see, David, this conversation, David, if you like, one day I will give you every money we've accrued. Why do you think that even NDC people publicly praise Papa Kofo? Look at the social interventions we enjoy today. David,
insurance and all
David. And then when people and they engage in a wanton dissipation of the mega resources we have. How much is the cost of free SHS? Every student, they pay just about 2,300 Ghana cedis. We have about 400 to 500,000 basic schools in ASM. Just oppose that to even the oil. In just 10 years, we've gotten about 8 billion United States dollars. Anytime there's a windfall, we get money from it.
We gain, yeah.
We gain. What do they use the money for?
The DC Cathedral.
And then means and David, ask yourself, the project that they do. Ask yourself, the project they do. And you see, what angers some of us is that is the slogans. Then they will throw it out there. So if you're not able to read and discern, now you if like open the phone for them people to call, and we done 1D, 1F, we done free SHS, we done this. Provision alone is how much is it?
Planning for food and just 2 billion Ghana cedis. What have we to show
David,
for? We're still importing onions from Niger. So if there's a border closure, we're in trouble.
David, we are just 33 million. Ghana is not like
like Nigeria.
We are just 33. David, we can't even fund NHIS. Today, if you say your child, and you phone a different maternal care by, if your wife is pregnant, she's due to deliver, take her to the hospital without money.
We have more land mass and more resources than Great Britain.
The last time I told you, and anybody can check, the world, the second country that exports most food is Netherlands. Yeah. The entire northern region alone has more lands than the Netherlands. Yeah. So David, it's about leadership.
Yeah.
I strongly believe that if you're able to manage the resources we have and judiciously use them. Now David, look at even the president when he travels. He's entourage. President ko UN Edinechi. Meanwhile, the nations will go and borrow when they are coming.
One or two or three tops. They come.
You know, David, and then they will create ghost names. They use that money to be paying their personal assistant. While the civil servants who are to do those jobs are there.
There are so many youth who would want to do their masters and PhDs and all that. They don't have the finances. Well, people who are in government are gaining from scholarships. I don't know whether you saw the list that came out over the weekend.
David,
they're benefiting from scholarships.
And David, another point is that why should Ghana pay hard currency, dollar, pound, for someone to go and study political science? I mean, you see, if the person going to study nanophysics or some, quantum mechanics or aerospace, something, political science. Well,
in today's Ghana, 3 Ghana cedis, as we've been talking about, can no longer pay for Chibum. And the 45 Ghana cedis is obviously not enough for a bag of cement. But thanks to Prudential Life Insurance Ghana's Mikakrawa, you can secure your future and that of your loved ones with as little as 3 Ghana cedis. Mikakrawa protects you and one independent in the event of death, critical illness, and total permanent disability. Please dial *778# on MTN today and join the Mikakrawa family and protect your future. Protect your future, protect your future. It will come handy when you join this beautiful family. Again, imagine getting rewarded for doing something you already do every single day. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, that's exactly what Momo season is all about. There's something for everyone. Download the Momo app on Play Store or App Store and use Momo Pay for your day-to-day transactions to a merchant, either through the QR code or the merchant ID, and stand a chance of winning 1,000 Ghana cedis weekly and other amazing prizes. Now, our merchants are also not left out of the reward. Receive payments and win. Keep using your Momo Pay on the Momo app and get rewarded. Now, there are lots and lots and lots of exciting prizes for everyone. So, what are you doing today? Transact more with Momo Pay and more points and win big this Momo season. Visit momomerchantapplication.mtn.com.gh for your Momo for business account today. It's Momo season, so just Momo it with Momo Pay. Terms and conditions apply though. All right, so let's talk about CBG. They're always in the news for the good reasons. Now, do you have cash reserves or investments and require security of your investments? Then CBG custody account is your best bet. With a minimum of 10,000 Ghana cedis, in cash or in investment, individuals, pension funds, mutual funds, companies with reserve funds, NGOs, international funds, and investment firms can open a custody account with CBG. Enjoy the best of experience with our state-of-the-art technology and digital offerings, robust control and secured systems, swift settlement and transaction processing protocols, no transaction costs, unbeatable custody fees, and excellent customer services. Visit any of CBG's 114 branches nationwide to open your custody account today. For further enquiries, contact us by calling 0302 216 000. Send us a mail at talktous@cbg.com.gh. It's put together. Talk to us at cbg.com.gh, or you can visit any of our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Terms and conditions apply. CBG, we stand with you. Now let's talk about our generators, all right? And here I talk to you about Anointed Electrical Engineering Service. Now, Anointed Electrical Engineering Services Limited is into sales of ultra-silent generators from 5 kVA to 2,500 kVA, and they undertake maintenance and repairs of all kinds of diesel engine generators. They also stock genuine spare parts of all kinds for various generators and also do generator rentals. You can find them here in Kumasi at T80 Yard of the Ak Mayanka Road at Asokwa. In Accra, their head office is at number 77 Anointed House of the Odoko Malam Road. Contact them by calling 0243 803. It is 0243 480 334 or 0544 340 589. At this point in time, let's talk about Syntex tank. Now, what is your preferred color of tank? Well, Syntex has it. What guarantee do you want? Syntex has it. And again, what kind of inner layer do you want? Is it double, triple, or quadruple? As many inner layers as you want, Syntex has it too. So remember, no matter your water needs, Syntex has it. Syntex tank, are you strong, are you tough? Now, they have over 300 agents nationwide, and to order a tank today, you need to call 0244 335 Visit Syntex on social media at Syntex Ghana, or you can shop online at www.syntexgh.com. Syntex tank, like I keep saying, are you strong, are you tough? Now let's talk about the best drink on the market. All right, it's the best drink on the market. Wake up to new taste of Bigo Cola. Nothing comes close to Bigo Cola, a drink of joy, both cold and sweet. Bigo Drink is a range of soft drinks developed, bottled, and distributed in Ghana by Trillium Industrial Ghana. Now, Bigo Cola drink offers a great taste and superior value for consumers. For your parties, your weddings, your funerals, and all occasions, reach out for Bigo drinks. Now, for the school children, I bet you that is a drink of choice. So, anytime you want a drink to quench your thirst, reach out for Bigo Cola and feel the taste of nature. Now, for bulk purchases, please call 03221 90877. It's a quality product from Trillium Industrial Limited. At this point in time, we'll bring to you some more messages as we get ready to cross over to join 99.7 for the Super Morning Show.
Wahwɛ sɛ wakɔ shop akɔdi dwa ahodoɔ basket ma emu provisions ɛne nneɛma ahodoɔ ehia wo paa wadi line mu saa eduru so na wokɔtua nso a yɛaka kyerɛ wo sɛ untimi nchante yɛ chance number na so ya keke na mmom wo de Vodafone cash deɛ a unni how cry yɛka kɔ baabi say deɛ untimi de Vodafone cash etua merchant bia ɔwɔ network bia so ɛyɛ straight ɛyɛ direct ɛyɛ sharp enti sɛ woto provisions fuel inro innuane mekyerɛ sɛ bibia wopɛ sɛ woyɛ bia no Vodafone cash ama na yɛ mrɛmrɛmrɛ ama wo yɛhia wobɛyɛ ade sɛ wobɛdial star 110 hash na tua ka kɔ merchant bia hɔ ɛwɔ network bia so Vodafone.
I wake up in the morning, it's a new day, and I got bills that I have to pay. Now you're running late, running out of time. Feels like the world is waiting in line. All you gotta do is pick up the phone and just dial.
So whatever you do, whoever you are, there is an easy way for everyone. The simple life.
Mayana, Manye. Juma, Minima Babayano. And someone here and someone here.
Rondo, yeah, I be some
Joy 99.7 FM.
Oh, yeah. Whoa, tell me where we gonna rondo. After making our motherland a better place to live. Tell me where we gonna rondo. When them say we have to pay for the oxygen we breathe. Answer me now, Mr. Big Man. You know this everybody want to go and go off for it. A simple life. It's all we want to live. Give me food, give me clothes, give me love, and give me shelter.
The way the thing is going.
Okay, you're welcome back. It's 8:37 on the Super Morning Show here on Joy 99.7 FM. We're so excited you could join us from wherever you are in the world. For those of you tuned in to Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, we love you so much. And for those of you who have chosen us via ATL FM on 100.5 megahertz in the central region, thank you so much. We're so glad that you are part of our family this morning. And Charlie, we have things to talk about. People are already responding to our Get Fund issue, right?
Yes. This one says, it's from Kweku Adams in Tema. Good morning, Joy SMS team. I applied for scholarship from Get Fund. At the time, I was working at TOR's Projects Department and was refused. They didn't even do me the honor of writing a generic refusal letter to me to date. Meanwhile, they were giving scholarship to people from some particular regions and sympathizers of the then party in power. Sometimes, if one is not careful, he will give up on Ghana after making huge sacrifices all these years. This one says, I had admission to study engineering mathematics at the University of Nottingham in 2016. A friend told me to apply.
University.
Yes, a friend told me about Get Fund and suggested I apply. I traveled to Get Fund office from Kumasi, only to be told by the receptionist that they were not offering scholarships that year for the lack of funds. I returned to Kumasi to mind my business. 2 weeks later, another friend was awarded the Get Fund scholarship to a university in Australia, when they told me that there was no scholarship for that year. I went back to Get Fund again. This time, I was able to enter the secretariat through some tricks and tactics I employed. It took me more than 8 hours to just submit my application package. While I was there, ministers, MPs, NDC and MPP, and PEP, that's politically exposed persons, bring their awards. They would not queue. Some of them had lists claiming to be coming from various important offices in the country and indicated the names of the awards on those lists. They come and go within minutes, not hours. How I finally obtained the scholarship is a story for another time. This is Dr. Mubarak Ahmed. Now, there is another one, Kojo. It starts with Lumumba, but it says here, Professor P.L. Lumumba says, when you hear of a country named Democratic Republic of, it implies there is no democracy in that country. The same applies to these terms, especially in Africa. Independent is also, Independent Electoral Commission implies not independent. Anti-Galamsey is also equal to pro-Galamsey. That scholarship meant for the needy and given on merit is for the rich politicians